How's it going? MaskMonger here, and we're doing a new segment on the MaskMonger, which is a fun little channel on YouTube where I do unboxings and I make masks and we talk about masks, stuff like that. Today we're doing a thing called first pulls, and it may be a new thing, I don't know, but I've been doing sculptings and stuff like that, and a lot of times the first casts that I make, latex casts and whatnot, I do a big pull. Sometimes I was able to videotape them, sometimes not, but I thought it'd be kind of a cool idea to do a first pull video. And so today what I'm doing is I'm doing the first pull of this little guy here. And what is this little guy? It doesn't look like much, but it is the hat for the Petrifilo mask that I'm doing. If you guys don't know, Petrifilo is the bassist. And I'm saying Petrifilo, it might be Petrifilo, I'll be corrected eventually. Bassist Tim Young from Psychotic Symphony. And he wore this hat, or this mask mostly, that looked almost like a cone head. And then there's a little hat at the top and a black braid, but eventually the hair was cut off. I believe it was cut off in the live performances, but it was still there in the music video. I'll have to watch it again to make sure. But from that, and from me, doing my best to make friends with the band and stuff like that, I've already done a crusty udder. I did a Zoid Sweetie, which is somewhere back here. There we go. Zoid. So the next thing I was like is I'm gonna do Petrifilo. I'm going to say both of them. Petrifilo. So we got it sculpted out. Then we had an issue where after I sculpted that, I sculpted the hat, but then I was low on funds for the extra funds to do the molds. And because of that, no matter how much I was spritzing it throughout the day, the clay was drying out, because I use wet clay. And the clay dried out and started cracking and stuff. Luckily enough, one of my patrons was able to help me get the stuff needed. So I was able to get the stuff to do it, and before I did, I sealed off all the cracks and everything on both the head and the hat. And so we have the hat here right now, and this is going to go to show you the first pulls aren't always the best pulls. The first pulls is where you can look and see abnormalities, bubbles, anything like that, especially with the hat, because the hat had a brim sculpted as well. So there could be some irregularities. So what you're going to do is you're going to see me set this down, get it prepped and ready for the pull, and then we're going to pull it and give it a quick look-see. So without further ado, we're going to do what we came to do. I'm going to change the camera angle, and we will go about doing our first pull. So here we go. I'm going to use this Gold Bond baby powder and just a light dusting. Because you want to use the powder, because if not, when the latex touches itself as you're pulling it, it will actually end up basically adhering to itself. So you have to put some kind of a powder on it that will prevent that from happening. And since we did the powder, I'm going to take a small brush. Usually I use big brushes, but this time I use a small brush to try and make sure everything in the mold has the powder on it, especially these itty bitty crevices right here. And another thing I'll do is wipe all the dust down into it, or the baby powder, and just slowly roll the powder around. All right, there we go. So that's pretty good. And we know that it's ready because it's pulling itself away without me doing anything. So we are going to just grab here at the edge where we poured it, the excess back out. And from this point, just go slowly pull it away. Hopefully it'll start breaking itself away. when you have the crevices like those, like the brim of the hat, sometimes it wants to grab a little harder than normal. Now see if you can see, this has got kind of like a dirty deal to it. Alright, there we are. So there it is, pulled away and stuff. As you can tell, like I said, there's still some clay that was there that got rehydrated and whatnot. But yeah, there you go. So there's the hat. It looks like a little, almost like those little kids' hats with the ribbons and stuff. But anyway, so that is the hat that goes on top of the Petrifilo. But the funny thing is, I could actually, you know, put like an elastic strap on it, paint it up, and it could just be like a little clown hat or something like that too. So it's more than just what I originally had it intended for. And so there it is. I can flip it inside out if I wanted to. There's still an actual wet spot. So like I said, and I would say that with this too. Is it perfect? No. There's some areas I might need to clean up and stuff. But I want this mask to already look aged and whatnot, so it's got some weatheredness to it. That's cool. Will I do any more to it? Probably a little bit. The only thing I'm going to do right now is just cut this little excess piece off right here. And be done. So there's that going. And then so it's just this part of the hat. We'll cut this stuff loose. If you saw there was a bubble in there, I'm going to fill that bubble in some extra plaster cars a little bit so that tells me where to fix some spots. Alright, so there we go. Got a little raggedy clown hat that's going to go on top of the Petrifilo mask. And that's going to do it for this episode. Hopefully you like that. Next time you see this, it'll be painted up and attached to the big mask itself. I may do a couple on their own though. You know, I think that would look cool. Just little hats by themselves. So, it didn't come out that well, but it was right here. It originally said the MaskMonger on there labeled, but you can't see it anymore. That's going to be the back of the hat anyway. So thank you guys very much for hanging out. Who knows, if you guys like that, you want to see more of these done, just let me know. Drop a comment at the bottom, and until next time, just remember, I'll get to it eventually. Rock like a station, tools and wires scattered, crafting his creation, stolen corpses lying, master tech he's trying.